huge rivalry with the Eagles. Rivalry with. Joy, can you say that?
Rivalry with.
You said it slow.
Rivalry with.
Okay, whatever. Fine, you're pro. Okay, we know the Cowboys have a huge rivalry with the Eagles, but which quarterback would be a top choice? Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts? MVP Cam Newton, former MVP, he weighed in. He's made it very clear, saying he would prefer Dak over Hurts. Anytime Dak and Hurts come up on this show, it's about to get spicy. Relax into your chairs, turn your volumes up, because this will get good. No better person to ask than the Eagles' all-time rushing leader. Watched all of Jalen Hurts' games. So, Shady, you weigh in first. Do you agree with Cam on Dak Prescott versus Jalen Hurts that Dak's a better quarterback?
How can I word this? Respectfully.
Respectfully.
People say that, you know it's about to be bad. Respectfully, I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is better.
And I know Dak Prescott had a all-pro year,
Yes,
right? MVP type of candidate year. I get that. But let's just break everything down for a second, right? So I look at a guy like Jalen Hurts, who I don't really know his true ceiling. I've seen a little bit of it, right, in the Super Bowl. In his third year, I've seen him get better each year, over and over again. Second-round pick, they know what we had in Philadelphia. He keeps winning and getting better and better and better. His best attribute is a winner. So I look at a guy like Dak Prescott, where would you say probably his best year was in his 8th year?
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
Okay, so his best year was in his 8th year, and they don't even get to a conference game.
Wow.
Matter of fact, they don't even win a playoff game. So as much as we don't talk about the attributes of the passing yards, you know, how they look, the feet work, this and the third, X's and O's, yeah, maybe some of that goes to Dak. I can't hate on that because Dak plays really well in the regular season. But to make a quarterback, I think for me, winning is a quarterback stat. And the best thing that Jalen Hurts does best, it might not be always throwing, might be always running, is winning games. He's going to win games. So if you're asking me who I'm taking the winner. Because one guy at his best can't win a playoff game in an MVP type of year, first team all-pro type of year, right? That's his best. The other guy, he makes us all-pro. We going to the Super Bowl, and we battle against the Chiefs. And all the quarterbacks in the last, 3 years, the most winning quarterback is probably Patrick Mahomes. But second best, you know what that is? Jalen Hurts. So if you guys want the flash and some stats, go to Dallas.
So you taking them
But
over?
if you want to go to the Super Bowl, have a chance to be a world champion, right?
So with your take, you're telling me that you're taking them over Josh Allen.
I'm taking the winner. We're not talking about.
You said he didn't. No, because
it's weird. I don't know how.
No, because you say
this guy is so crazy.
No,
because
you're
he'll run down Josh Allen all the time to me. Soon the TV comes on, America's watching all that. Yeah, I like Josh number 2.
I'm just trying to.
I don't know.
I'm trying to bottle this all up.
Hey,
you
look.
just said he's second behind Patty Mahomes winning-wise, and the only reason you're taking him is because he's a winner and been to the Super Bowl.
The only reason he's taking him over Dak.
Because he's a winner.
The only reason he's taking him over Dak.
Because yo, it's a lot of quarterbacks that I would.
So it changes
take before Brock Purdy, right? But I need somebody to win. Make sure we win. Don't lose the games. Gotta throw Purdy.
Shady, I'm gonna take this baton from you because of what you just said. I think it's brilliant. I will take Jalen Hurts over Dak. The reason I'll take Jalen Hurts over Dak is simple. I don't think Jalen Hurts has ever been the reason his team has won a playoff game. Go back and look at it. He's never been the reason his team has won a playoff game. He had 188 yards in the win versus the Giants. The Giants have 7 points. They win without Jalen Hurts. The Niners, all their quarterbacks was hurt. It was Jalen Hurts versus Christian McCaffrey. He had 160 yards in that game. The Niners had 7 points. They win without Jalen Hurts. But the difference is, remove that full screen. Dak has been the reason this team has lost playoff games.
That's true.
And that's the difference between the two. Hurts may not have been the reason the Eagles won. I get that. That's fine. But they still won. But Dak has been the reason this team has lost, both against the Packers this last year, against the Niners the year before. You could argue against the Niners the year before if Dak has more competency about the play clock and he decides to slide 5 yards sooner, thus they spike it, have a chance at the end zone. So you could argue for certain that Dak's the reason this team lost the last 2 playoff games, that if somebody wanted to say the last 3, I would open up my ear and listen. So for those that suggest the Eagles could win without Jalen Hurts in the playoffs, I agree with you. He's never been the reason this team has won a playoff game. But Dak has been the reason this team has lost playoff games. Regular season quarterbacks, I think they're comparable. Dak's probably a little bit more consistent in the regular season. You know what you're going to get. Hurts' ceiling is higher, but his floor is lower. Dak is just very even, steady Eddie. But in the playoffs, I have to go with Hurts because he will not cost the Eagles a victory like Dak has.
Yeah. You know
James, why you seem stressed?
Are we talking to player or are we talking to team success?
The player, sir?
There's nothing that Jalen Hurts does better than Dak Prescott at the quarterback spot but the read option. He don't throw better than him. He don't throw with anticipation better than him. I mean, this dude was 5,000 yards last year, led the NFL in touchdowns passed. There's nothing Jalen Hurts except running the read option and maybe the tush push that he does better than Dak Prescott. And I like Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is going to be a really good quarterback in this league. But Dak Prescott, at this point right now in the National Football League, does everything better than Jalen Hurts at that quarterback spot.
Does he win better?
Is it a team goal, or are we talking about a quarterback? Because I put winning on the team, because you need defenses and all that to win. So I don't necessarily just put that on the quarterback.
They elevate a little bit of that remove some of that. So we telling me that quarterbacks don't get judged on their.
You talking about just in the playoffs?
Quarterbacks don't get judged on their wins and what they do in the playoffs and all that. I'm just asking. This ain't no running backs, no wide receivers.
Not when you ask me.
This ain't no D-back or no linebacker. We talking about the quarterback.
Maybe somebody else, but not when you asking me who's the better player.
You know what it is, though, Joy? I learned it about James Jones.
You learned, Shady? I'm interested.
Because we became good friends on this show. And I learned that
It's been good to see.
he loves a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I couldn't figure out why. And I know why. He likes this how it looks. He don't care about the results. He don't care if you play 20-something years and get all this hype. You win in the regular season, then the postseason. We can't find that quarterback we've been seeing all year.
Yeah.
So when I look at James, it's like, now I understand you now.
Yeah,
That's
good.
cool.
Right?
You can understand me. Number one, Dak Prescott don't even look like Aaron Rodgers, so let's get that out the way.
Off the two guys,
But he
off the
looks
quarterbacks.
way better than Jalen Hurts at the quarterback spot. And that's what the MVP and Cam Newton is talking about. At the quarterback spot, when we're talking about how you play throwing this football, a guy that has won the division last year, won 12 games. And yes, you could talk about him, what he's done in the playoffs, but what he has done and winning in the regular season and how he plays the quarterback position, there's nothing that Jalen Hurts does better than Dak Prescott unless it's the read option.
Go ahead, George.
That is it.
Nothing.
I disagree with Cam, respectfully.
And James.
And James. And if you want to take Dak, that's fine. Statistically, and stats don't tell the whole story, but when it does tell some of the story. They're kind of the same player during the regular season. Dak has played for longer, so let's just talk about since Jalen has become a starter, right? I feel like that's reasonable. That's a reasonable place to start. So Dak's won 31 games. Hurts has won 33. Both have lost the same amount of games. So 31 and 14, 33 and 14. Okay, that's a wash. 275 yards per game, 273 yards per game. Okay, about the same. Touchdown interception, Dak 100, 34. Hurts 99, 30. About the same.
Total touchdowns.
Total touchdowns, yeah. Total touchdowns, interceptions 134, 99, 30. About the same. Games with 300 plus total yards. Hurts has 19, Dak has 15. So Hurts does have a couple more of them things. So then they're the same player, right? They win games during the regular season. They got good teams around them. Jalen had a great defense. Dak had a great defense. They got good coaches. They got options. They got special teams players. They got defensive players. They got wide receivers, tight ends, offensive linemen. Like, what's really different between these two teams? When you really look at it, like, they're really talented teams.
Yeah.
Tons of all-pros. They both have MVP finalists. Everyone's talking about what Dak did last year as if Jalen didn't have the year before that, right?
You're talking to you, James.
Like,
What was Jaden's year before?
hold on. Jalen Hurts was an all-pro. Dak Prescott is an all-pro. This wasn't like 4 or 5 years ago. This was the year before last. Jalen Hurts was an all-pro. That's the second best quarterback in the league, right? That's usually how that works. And we can argue, but all-pro. Right? MVP finalist. We're just talking about Carson Wentz. Big deal. Big deal, right? MVP finalist. All pro. What does Dak have?
Same.
MVP finalist. All pro. So when you're really looking at the both of them, they win regular season games. Jalen Hurts has won regular season games. A lot of them. He has been a reason that they've won regular season games. He's not completely relying on the defense.
So was Dak.
So is Dak. So what? They're the same. They're the same player. So what does it come down to then? Like, what is the difference here? What is the difference?
I'm waiting.
If we're just talking about when Jalen has become a starter and when Dak has become a starter.
You're taking Dak's years away, though.
You have to. Jalen is younger, significantly younger. I'm talking about when Jalen was a starter. I started from when Jalen became a starter in the league. I can't talk about what he did in college. Since he was a starter in the league, Dak was starting at the same time. They both are starters. That's where we'll start evaluating. That's the only way we can. We can't evaluate what Jalen hasn't done. Otherwise, we just put a pin in this and wait until Jalen has reached 8 years to compare.
But what I'm saying is this special quarterback that y'all talking about in Jalen Hurts, like.
Oh, you didn't say special. I didn't say special.
Well, this really good quarterback.
What
I mean, all pro special.
It?
I just, if you got an all pro, I'm gonna say you were special at the quarterback spot. He got pressure on him this year, the way he performed last year. Like, This dude has true pressure on him.
They're not even paying Dak.
Dak has been in this league for 8 years and about to get paid again on how his quarterback play. We don't even know what Jalen Hurts is going to be. We know what Dak is.
Yes, well, we do know what Dak is. We know that Dak is basically